We are sitting in a studio right now, next to the studio I normally sit in, because this is how radio works, and nothing is live. And I'm here with Vicci Martinez. Hey.
Hello.
How was your morning?
It was great. I was awoken. Is that the right way to say it?
Sure.
Awokened by my sister's new baby boy.
Is that exciting?
It is.
You're all over Twitter and Facebook and everything with the baby boy.
I haven't been posting anything else except for pictures of Dominic. It's like taking over my world right now.
And how old is he?
He's 2 months today.
You always seem so excited about it.
Yeah.
So cute.
I mean, well, that's what woke me up today, because it was like I had to get up at 6, and I put the snooze on for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden I heard like this little, It wasn't a cry. It was just a little squeal, so I knew that he was up, just making noises, and I seriously just got up out of the bed and just went up. My sister's passed out. He's in his little thingy, moving all around.
You're like the friend that's like,
Picked him up.
This wouldn't be so hard.
Yeah, picked him up, changed his diaper, and then I was like, oh man, I got to get ready. So,
well, thanks for coming in today.
thank you.
I know it's tough to get up before noon for
Yeah.
me.
And me.
I barely made it here today.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your album.
Okay.
It's called Vicci.
Yes.
It's been out since
June, I believe.
And when
June or July.
I think you were in Seattle around then, and you did a few shows here and there.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a whole story about us going to Vancouver and all that stuff. But the album was out then, and it wasn't doing what you wanted it to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting coming from a TV show, I mean, being on The Voice. I mean, everything moves so quickly.
Yeah.
And we really were, in a hotel room for a few months as, the show was happening. And all of a sudden the show's over, you leave, and you're just like, whoa, everybody, in the nation knows who you are. And so it's just like, you kind of in a weird, at least for me, my situation, was that, you kind of expect everything else, that came from the show to happen that way. And, I just kind of got, the hard truth very quickly that, obviously TV, the show's moving quickly. They're already on their 4th season. And it's growing and it's getting bigger, but, a lot of people you hear like, oh, I didn't watch the 1st season, or, so you missed out on a lot of people,
Right.
And you're like, why aren't my sales doing well? Why don't, why doesn't anybody know, who I am? Why isn't anybody, going out and buying the album quickly? So, it definitely was just a hard reality at first.
It's no secret to anybody who listens to anything that I do that I'm not a huge fan of competition shows for that very reason. I just think it's one of those things like, did they try to prepare anybody for what was happening next, or was it kind of okay, thanks for your couple of months, and we'll see you later, good luck?
I mean, with The Voice, what's different is that it's up to the label if they want to sign you, and Republic wanted to sign me, Republic Records. And it was just kind of, like what you said, The Voice is like, okay, see you later, good luck, congratulations. And then I'm in the hands of this label that,
Right.
Especially, and it was the 1st season too, so people were still kind of, trying to figure out the ropes and like, okay, so what are we going to do with, these kids, and, where do we go from here?
Are you the only artist that's still signed from season 1? Do you think? I mean, I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you haven't seen contracts, but
I do know that Dia is still signed.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard anything about that, but her and I think are the ones that are still signed with Republic Records. But
tell me about. So you get off The Voice, and the label says, "Hey, we really like you. We want to have you on the team." You go into the making of the album. Was it pretty quick after that?
It was going to be really quick. Like the first few months after the show, I was kind of just, my schedule was, okay, get up, go write with this person. Next day, get up, go write with this person, you know, and it was kind of a machine for a little while.
Yeah.
And I was writing some good tunes with people, and some people, you know, were writing songs for me, and like, oh, you know, will you sing this song? And that just got too. It just, I, you know, I don't want to say that the sessions I had weren't good. You know, they were great, they were productive, but I didn't use a lot of those songs, and I think it was because it was pretty mechanical for me at that point, and I was just, you know, like I said, it was a machine, and then I went to Sweden, and I wrote with Peter Svensson, and we wrote 5 songs together, and then he played me, you know, Come Along, which is my single now.
Right.
And it was something he'd written a few years, you know, 10 years before, and I asked if I could cover it. And so then I started, after writing those songs with him, I kind of had an idea of where I wanted to go with this record. And I just basically asked if I could take more time. And I think, you know, the people that I got pretty close to, that, you know, from the label, and the guy, Martin Dodd, who kind of A&R'd the record a lot and connected me with these people, he kind of realized, like, okay, this is how Vicci works. Like, she likes to have a bit of a relationship and a connection with the people she's writing with.
And why is that? Does that come from the years and years before the machine started being a part of your life? I mean...
Well, I never did that. I feel like in LA, everybody does writing sessions, you know, with everybody. You know, a lot of singers and songwriters that I know that, you know, aren't even signed, they have sessions in studios, like, you know, throughout the week. And it's interesting, you know, sometimes they know the people, sometimes they don't. And I think, you know, for writers, people that, you know, are getting, you know, the songwriting awards and the Grammys and this, that, you know, you're pretty used to writing a song a day, and, you know, like, which I'm not used to. And so I think for me it was I think it was easier for me to get into this, you know, whole different world in LA of writers and all these sessions. It was easier when I could make a connection with somebody, because then it just felt like I'm hanging with my friend. You know, let's go eat and enjoy each other's company, and then get back to writing, and then you kind of have your therapy session doesn't become so, because that's what you do. You go in there and you tell the guy, like, hey, nice to meet you. Never seen this guy in my life, and now I'm going to tell you my whole life story so we can write a song about it.
Yeah.
And when you actually know, you know, start to get to know the people, have a few drinks with them, you know, whatever, then it's a little bit more comfortable doing that.
So you write this out. You took a little bit more time. You write this album, which I love. I think it's great.
Thank you.
And then it comes out, and the voice kind of luster wore off a little bit for you.
Yeah.
And you said, well, what am I supposed to do, right? Like, kind of on my own. And then so you started hitting cities all over the place.
My manager, Beth Tallman, who has worked at labels, you know, for a long time, and has done marketing and brand marketing for a lot of artists, she did the exact same thing. You know, you're an artist, you release a single, you get on the road, you go visit radio stations. That's what you do. I guess nowadays that's not as common. You have iTunes, you have so many other ways of how people can get your music if you have a fan base.
Right. Which you do.
Which I do, but I don't necessarily, I've never, you know, done radio. I've never, you know, even had songs that were considered radio worthy, I guess. Too many of Eric's long solos in the song. I'm just kidding. Eric's right here with me, by the way. No, it was interesting, and the thing about Beth is she used to work with Sheryl Crow, and she did the exact same thing with Sheryl Crow. So when I met Beth, you know, I was super excited because that was one of my inspirations. And so I still always ask Beth, is this what you did with Sheryl? Is this what she's like? This is exactly what we did. You know, we would have
it works.
any anybody that would say yes to letting you come by, she was like, that's what we're going to do. And so we've been doing that since May 1st when the song came out. We've been, up and down the West Coast. We went over to the East Coast, some Midwest, Central locations, and
which is where you really picked up some steam.
yes.
And so then, I'm going to use this phrase because I love using it. Overnight, the song becomes, no, because people, and this happens a lot with competition shows, people will be doing music for 10, 15 years, then they get on one of these shows and they're like, oh, they're an overnight sensation.
Yeah.
No.
Not really.
So in the last couple of months, your song stepped its way into the top 40.
Yeah.
On the charts, which I'm not sure you realized how big of a deal that was. But now every station in the country is looking at your song. It's not a question now of whether the song is worthy for radio. Now it's a question of how does it fit our station.
Yeah.
And so my station started playing it. Other stations in the Northwest started playing it. And before that, you had San Francisco and like all these other amazing cities.
Yeah. Minneapolis was the one who really, broke the song. I don't want to, discredit though, Fresno and Boise, a woman named Lisa Adams who, was friends with Beth, who, immediately just said, we're going to add it and kept it. I had a lot of people adding the song in May when I went to go visit, but then it just kind of fell off. Nobody continued. It was just.
We'll play it because she's coming, and then
and then
she's in the Midwest. She won't know.
Exactly. No, but yeah. I mean, and like you said, it is a big deal, and it's every week since for the last couple months, Beth is emailing me the updates of where we are on the charts. This week we were at number 30, which is just like. Then next week, hopefully, it's in the 20s. Like that's
where was it? It was like 3.5, 4 weeks ago. It was just like, oh, Vicci's almost in the top 40, almost in the top 40,
Yeah.
And now it's like,
it's just continuing to happen. So this is the dream come true.
What's next?
Well, we're already planning on a video finally for Come Along, and so I think we've nailed down a director that we want to work with, and hopefully in the next month we'll be shooting the video for Come Along, and a bigger push. I mean, one of the things too that happened was I wasn't physically released, like it was just digitally, iTunes, and then later they put it on Amazon, physically.
Good local company.
And and then now we just got the green light that they're going to be releasing it in all the stores. So it's I call it the little record that could, because of the success of the first season not really, being kind of unsuccessful, like the winner, like you were just saying, he's not even signed anymore to the label. I think I got a lot of like, okay, let's pull back a little bit. And I guess what happens, when an artist does get signed, you get a little bit of artist development time. So I think they allowed me to have that time with this record. And instead of just cutting me out, quickly, they gave me,
Which was good. I mean, you and I are friends, and I've been kind of following along this whole process. And it was like, you wanted to do all these things, and the label wasn't helping you out. But I think in the end, they just kind of needed to see that you were in it as much as they were going to be in it. And so now that you hit the road hard and you just did what you had to do, I think the label's probably just like, she wants it. So.
Well, that's exactly, what they've all said, after returning, because they're in New York, so I don't get to visit as often since I'm in LA, but just the tables have turned, they're very, when I went in September, it was everybody in the staff came and I did a performance and they had a big, spread of food, like almost like that's how you introduce an artist when you sign them. And when I got signed, I didn't meet anybody, it was like she signed, get her writing, get the record out quickly. And so it was almost like, okay, this is how it's supposed to happen.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Is CeeLo going to be in the video?
Yes, we want CeeLo to be in the video.
Of course.
Absolutely.
It is so funny to me, and this is no slight to CeeLo, but it is so funny to me that when people hear you sing "Come Along Live" and CeeLo's not there, one of the comments I always hear is, "Oh, that song's so much better without that awkward middle part." And I'm like, I don't know if it's the awkward middle part or the fact that you're seeing her give it all on stage, but it's just funny to hear people say that.
Well, you know what? What's kind of cool is that we have both versions of that song recorded, and I think some of the AAA stations that have added the song, I think they're playing it, some of that version. So we were actually even discussing of having, 2 videos.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I don't want to, say anything before it happens, but I just did.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows? Let me just tell you.
You'll find it out on Twitter. You can find Vicci on Twitter at Vicci Martinez. The website is viccimartinez.com. What are you going to play for me?
Well, I'm going to play you my version without CeeLo of Come Along.
Whenever you're ready.
Time flies, make a statement, take a stand. Time flies, make a statement, take a stand. Time flies, make a statement, take a stand. Take your stand. And come along with me. Settled cities turn to sand. Trespassing, this is your land. Time flies, make a statement, take a stand. Come along with me. Come along now, come along and you'll see what it's like to be free, babe. Yeah. Come along with me. Come along now, come along and you'll see what it's like to be free. Yeah, come along with me.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's awesome. You can actually buy that song at VicciMartinez.com.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing. I feel like I just got a little private performance just for me. I'm going to cut this part out of the interview so that I can have this moment for myself. All right. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Brad Nolan.
Friggin' love you.
Love you too.